usually we are in a non-academic environment, so imagine it's Friday night, we are in a music club, which means black walls, shabby chairs and tables. It's very crowded, so usually there are 400, 500, 600 people. The lucky ones manage to find a seat, the rest has to lean at the bar. People are having drinks and they are waiting not for a band, not for a comedian, but for scientists to enter the stage and to present their own current research projects in maximum 6 minutes, as understandable as possible, and it may also be entertaining. And
Maybe.
it may be entertaining. In the end of the evening, the audience chooses the slam champion in a voting procedure. And so we do this all over Austria, and one of our most successful slammers during the last years did present a brain-computer interface topic, and he was chosen slam champion here in Graz. Then he also succeeded at the national final, and of course participated at the European Science Slam final, and almost won even the European final. And all of you know this guy because he's one of the co-organizers of this conference. It's Reini Scherer, who is not in the room at the moment. Ah, here it is. Ah. Yes. So, Reini had the brilliant idea to organize a Science Slam at the almost concluding event of this conference. So thanks to you all for staying also on Friday and joining us. The rules are very simple, so talk time is 6 minutes. The projector is not allowed to use, except if you have to enlarge some tiny objects that are used. So usually we ban the projector. We want to avoid death by PowerPoint. You all know this phenomenon. So, creative props, demonstration objects are very welcome, but it should not be a standard academic presentation. Of course, nobody can go into details in 6 minutes. So the aim of such a Science Slam presentation is just to give a very first glimpse of the project the scientists are working on. You, as our audience, you have two very important tasks. You have to be quite courageous to come here and present your research project in just 6 minutes without PowerPoint. So, our slammers deserve your full emotional support by massive applause, and I would like to rehearse this now. You are signal experts. I'm a theoretical physicist, so I'm used to draw diagrams. I'm here drawing a diagram. On the vertical axis, there's capital I, index A of t over t. What is it? Capital I, index A of t. E. Intensity of A? Applause. So, the intensity of your applause should have the following pattern. It's a sawtooth signal, you know it. So, linear increase, and then stop, and next linear increase. So, please, simultaneously try to mimic this signal. Are you ready? So, here's the zero line. Oh, very well done. I have the impression you are experienced in mimicking signals. May this be true? No, it's not true. There's no fake data in your papers, is there? No. No, you make signal processing great again. Okay. I stop making silly jokes. So, one of your tasks is emotional support, so please repeat this applause, maximum intensity, every time a slammer enters this stage and also after the presentation. And your second task is you will be our jury, so we will form discussion groups, and every discussion group then is invited to discuss about the slammers and their presentations, and then elect today's slam champion by evaluating the content, understanding, and performance. I will explain it in detail how this procedure works after our 5 presentations. So, are you ready? We need your full attention now. You are our responsible jury. And our first slammer is a computer scientist from Belgrade. Jelena Mladenovic is currently doing her research. Just a second, I want to introduce Jelena. Just a second. She's doing her research simultaneously in 2 French national institutes of health and medical research and of computer science and automation, and they are located in Lyon and Bordeaux. And I don't know how you manage to be at 2 places at the same time, but I know you're really able to do multitasking. I could just watch you how you you're very motivated, and it's it's quite a difficult task for our audio guy. He was briefed in about 2 minutes into a very complex sound scheme. I hope everything works. And Jelena Mladenovic starts this brain-computer interface science slam by confessing, "I hear voices." Now, massive applause for Jelena!
So before we start the countdown, I would like to, I actually need a volunteer from the public. You don't need to raise your hands, but just think really loud. Think really loud about your answer, okay?
It's such a hangover.
No way.
So I'm trying, I'm hearing.
It's gonna be
Fabien Equibiso Hilarius. Pique Fabien, pique Fabien.
I think someone really wants me to place Fabien on the stage. Is Fabien Lot here on the stage? Please come. You can sit here. And I also need my robot, my machine, my lovely colleague. Yeah, so you will have this on your head. Yeah, perfect. And you can sit here. Yeah, perfect. Didn't really think this through, did I? Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, can we start, I don't know, the countdown, is that okay? Okay. Play, tell me. Yeah. So the media often tends to mislead the general public by exaggerating all these about the capacities of a BCI. So most people think that we can read people's minds, which is really far from the truth. So I would like to present to you a typical BCI application so you can see for yourself how it works. Okay, so we start by placing an EEG cap on the person's head. Let me just, okay, tack, voilà. There we go. So we place it on the user's head, and it's a bunch of electrodes that actually, okay, so let's try it like this. Is that okay? Great. So it's a bunch of electrodes that actually measure the electrical activity of the brain. So when you imagine doing something, or when you do a certain action, cognitive or motoric, whatever it is, millions of neurons, they fire at the same time. They communicate between themselves, creating this electrical signature. And each activity, being that you're relaxed or doing whatever, has this different signature that we want to use during a BCI. So the experimenter usually places one electrode by electrode, and it usually lasts for around 30 minutes.
Oh, that is very, very long. I'm so hungover right now.
Yeah, so what you actually heard will represent the Fabien's inner voice. It's a record that I made, so we're not hearing voices here. It's not just me. the first phase of a BCI is the calibration phase, in which the machine accumulates all these information, this electrical information coming from the user, and it needs to learn to distinguish some certain these signatures and activities that represent on the user. So in this task, the user will imagine moving left or right hand in order to move a certain object on the screen.
You mean seeing myself moving?
Yeah, you can see yourself moving, but also you can have like an intention to have an intention to move your limb, but without moving at the last moment. Is that okay?
Okay, so I will imagine to knock with my left hand.
Okay.
And play the piano with my right.
Perfect, you can do that. So the first phase, first of all, you need to relax your muscles, focus your visual attention on the screen, and when you see can you see anything, Natalie? Yes, great. So wait, this is left, right. Yeah, so when you see the left arrow, imagine left hand movement. When you see the right arrow, do the same. So we can start the calibration phase.
Right. Left. Left.
Oh, I had too many beers for this.
Right.
Perfect. So basically, this lasts for around 10 minutes. It repeats and it repeats, and usually it's difficult for users to focus because they don't really see anything moving. They see only these cues. Okay.
It's difficult to focus, eh?
Yeah, it can be quite difficult, but don't worry. So, because now you can actually move the object by imagining the same movements that you have during the calibration, and try to put the ball as much as you can on the left, which is actually, I didn't really measure, on the left as much as you can, and on the right of the screen as much as you can. So let's start.
Left.
Hey, but this is easy.
See, really good, very good.
Oh, wait, go right.
Right.
Come on, focus, Fabien.
Left.
Okay.
Right.
But it goes all the time on the left.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, all the electrodes are okay. Maybe while you're imagining to move your right hand, maybe you're at the same time you're playing the piano with both hands unconsciously. So try really to focus on one and other hand separately, okay?
I was never very good at playing the piano anyway, so I will simply squeeze a toy with my right hand instead.
Right.
This is not at all working.
So, yeah, usually users tend to change their strategies during the BCI experiment, but the machine calibrated on the first, it learned to distinguish these activities only during the calibration, so it cannot really recognize this new command. So it's really often what they do, and what happens is this last trend in the BCI is to make the machine adaptive, so that it actually learns on the go and accounts for all these fluctuations of the user. So lastly, like the last period, we were having better results and it was working better. And also, the attention of the user can actually drift away, and yeah.
I need a Doliprane. My head is killing me.
Yeah, because actually this experiment lasts for 1 hour and it repeats and repeats. So basically what we're doing today is we're creating more interesting content, more engaging and immersive, so that the user doesn't really think about how, their headaches or whatever. I think, yeah, so thank you. And thank Fabien, thank you for the machine. You didn't see that coming, did you?
Congratulations, thank you very, very much. Now you know how these poor guys feel when they have to participate in your experiments. Big applause also for Paul, the audio guy, for doing the perfect sound management.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jelena, please now quickly change the microphone, because our next slammer wants to be heard as well. Just as a reminder, we will have this group discussions in the very end, so just prepare yourself with valid arguments, just to bring as much points as possible to your favorite. So just collect powerful arguments for the final discussions. Melody Fouyen is doing her research at Lyon Neuroscience Research Center. Her field of expertise is cerebral dynamics and cognition. And if the microphone is ready, then also Melody is ready to play. Big applause for Melody Fouyen.
Okay, hello. I guess you all know this famous game, Connect 4. Rules are simple. 2 colors, 2 players aiming at be the first to align 4 pawns horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. To be honest, I don't know why this game is so famous. Don't you find it a bit boring? Wouldn't it be more fun if you could play only with the force of your mind, without your hands? Okay, let's try. Sorry. It all relies on transforming your brain activity, your attention, your ability to concentrate into an action. You think I'm crazy, but believe me, it's possible. As a neuroscientist doing my PhD on brain-computer interfaces, this is why I'm working on, so trust me. But don't think I'm going to do all the job for you. You will have to gather the force of your mind and to concentrate as expected in order to send me your good vibe, a good signal. But you can do it. Even children can do it. They come to our lab every day and they love to play Connect 4 with me. Actually, they come quite often and several times in order to improve and train their attentional capacities. Because those children, like Lily here, are like all children, but they suffer from attention disabilities. So, okay, Lily, sit down. I'm going to put you this beautiful EEG cap on your head. Now, I place this little sensor on the cap. Thanks to this sensor, I'm now able to record your brain activity. Now, I'm going to flash each column of this grid game like that. Okay. So why do I do that? Of course she knows, because she used to, but you don't. In fact, it's quite simple. She will have to really focus her attention on the column she wants to place a pawn in. Then I will flash this column. And only then, only when I'm going to flash her target column, her brain will produce a wave like this one, which is named the P300. On contrary, when I'm going to flash a column she doesn't care about, her brain will tell it to me by producing this flat wave without P300. It's quite simple. Target column P300, no target column, no P300. So, now that you know how it works, you're going to play Connect 4 with me. But, of course, I don't have an EEG cap for each of you, so I will not be able to record your brain activity in order to detect this wave. But it doesn't mean that you cannot produce a wave. You will imitate this brain wave by making a sound with your voice. When I'm going to flash a column you doesn't care about, you're going to imitate this fate signal by making this sound. Okay? And in contrary, when I'm going to flash your target column, you're going to make a different sound by shooting loudly here. Okay? So, Let's do this. This part of the room will be the yellows, and this part will be the reds. So now, let's imagine that each of you is one neuron of the brain. So we have now here the yellow brain, and here the red brain. So, yellows, it's your turn. Remember, non-target colon, target colon, here. Are you ready? So, let's go. Sorry, I didn't get a good signal. So, red, it's your turn. Ready? So you will have to be really focused on your colon. So, yellows, your turn again. Don't miss it this time. Ready? Okay. Yeah, well done. So, as you see, when you all get together, you can make it. This is what we try to learn to children with ADHD. It's attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. For the moment, the predominant treatment for those children is pharmacological with a psychostimulant treatment, but there are some side effects that are reported, and close to 30% of children do not fully respond to them. And this technique here that allows us to learn how to modulate our own brain activity is called neurofeedback. We are currently running a clinical trial in France in order to prove that this technique can improve our attentional capacities. And we hope to prove that in the near future, neurofeedback could be used in complement to other treatment in order to better help those children and their family. Thank you.
Great idea and a very focused audience. Congratulations. Our next slammer will try to get the microphone as quickly as possible. It comes from the Silesian University of Technology in Gliwice in Poland. Bartosz Binias, his main fields of expertise are digital processing of biomedical signals, machine learning and BCI applications in aircraft. Who of you is going to fly home tomorrow or the next days? So, Bartosz has quite an alarming message for you. It's a question. I hope you will answer the question. Do pilots dream about flying while they are flying? Big applause for Bartosz Binias.
Okay, hi everyone. Actually, I've missed when you raised your hand, so anyone who's going to travel by plane from Graz or anytime soon, please raise your hands. Okay, so actually I need your help, so could you all come here closer? So leave your seats and come here. Actually, I was going to ask you to leave because you might be kind of scared after my presentation, but you know, better stay and be here. Thank you very much, okay? Because, no, just you can stay here, for example, but focus on the stairs. Because what I'm going to talk about is the aircraft safety. And yes, this is by far one of the most crucial and important aspects, thank you for coming, aspects of touristic flights. After all, we all do fly, yeah? And we agree to get locked in those metal cans and carried far in the air. And if something bad happens, we cannot help it, actually, right? And so over the years, technicians, mechanicians, what they did, we actually tried to make those mechanical cans more and more reliable until they are almost completely fail-proof. But over the years, there was just this one thing we couldn't do anything about. You know what? Teddy bears. No, actually not teddy bears, but pilots. And yeah, just a mistake. But this teddy bear is also a pilot, so he's good for this task. And how do you describe pilots? Professional? What else? Any ideas? Skilled? Trained? Anything from you? Okay, so actually this doesn't matter because pilots are human. And human, they do make mistakes, and especially when they are tired. And trust me, pilots are more often tired than they are not. And there was this recent study that almost 3/4 of all pilots admitted that at some point of their life, they actually fallen asleep during the flight, and not on the autopilot. And the worst thing is, there's this thing called microsleeps, when you don't even know that you have fallen asleep for like a few seconds. And the second pilot, so my brave pilot Bear, he wouldn't even notice that I'm sleeping. And even if the pilots, they don't sleep, when they are tired, their cognitive performance is really decreased, so they cannot react fast, they cannot think, make good decisions. You know, if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I wouldn't be able to tell you what my name is. So imagine that there's a pilot, and he has to react really fast and do something. Impossible. And very often when there is an autopilot, they do sleep. And then something bad happens, they have to really wake up fast and do something, react. And actually many of the catastrophes in recent years, there were the human factor, and actually the human factor that was later related to the lack of sleep or improper consciousness of pilots. And what me and my colleagues at Salesian University are trying to do is to develop some solution to that problem. You see, as brain works, actually you all know that here, because I don't think there's anyone from outside the conference here. When our brain works, it produces these currents, and they can be measured as EEG signals. Those signals actually can be, you know, I think everyone can have some different way of using those signals, but they can be actually interpreted, and some changes in the signals, they can be attributed to changes in attention or increased fatigue. And that's what we actually did. So we've made those solutions that allow to measure and evaluate the fatigue, the alertness of pilots in real time. What we are working on now currently is trying to find the patterns in those EEG signals that will allow us to predict and if there is any downgrade in pilot's performance, if he's going to fall asleep, if his reaction is going to downgrade. Actually, with reaction, we have so far so good results, but we would also like to find if pilot is ready to perform well and make good decisions. We are now working with almost 50 professional pilots, and they really do find this, they say that they need it. That would be really cool if we've made something like that. And we are trying actually to focus on not only on the algorithmical part, but on the hardware. So, what do pilots dream about? Well, that is something I can't really tell you about. In the middle, please everyone take one of these. Okay, I can't tell you what the pilots dream about, but I sure can tell you that they do fall asleep. And my job and the job of my colleagues is to let you sleep peacefully during the flight, while the pilot does his job. Okay, so if everyone has their planes, I would actually like you all to just throw them here on the stage. Okay. Thank you. And whoa, this one won actually. And as you can see, all the planes, they landed safely on the ground, and that's what I wish. And that's what I wish to your flight. So travel safe, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Bartosz. Well, I would say they landed more or less safely here on the ground, but at least they landed. So I hope you have pleasant flights home. Bartosz, are you going by plane or by train back to Gliwice? By plane. Oh, so you still trust those guys. Our next slammer, Gagandeep Kaur from Indian Institute of Technology in Kanpur, is working at the Smart Materials, Structures and Systems Lab, and she enters our Science Slam stage with a quite poetic title. The rainbow is not just yellow. So please, a massive applause for Gagandeep Kaur.
That helps a lot for the applaud. So, what am I doing here? Yeah. So here, in the next few minutes, I'll be trying to say something that all of us do and modulate them into something that we have seen since our childhood days. Rainbows. I claim that rainbow isn't all about yellow. Do you agree with me? Yes. So do I. So I need not talk actually, but actually I wrote something. There wouldn't be one if it didn't rain. But there could be one just beside water falling from a drain. Wait, I did some tricks indoor. Just picked up the crayons and it began to pour. Magically, it created a bow. I just flew and paraglided and I saw an O. Someday, I saw through the window and these colors were just standing in a row. But they are all rainbow, but it's not just yellow. Through this, whatever rhyme or whatever you say, I'm trying to draw an analogy with the way we analyze brain signals. Popularly, what we do, we are after the patterns, we are after the shapes. We take one component out of it, like the candy, a rainbow candy. Take the yellow, start analyzing it, the latency, the amplitude, and then what we comment about is the rainbow. What I want to say is that pick up a small part of the rainbow instead of just the yellow. Maybe we'll understand the brain better. Maybe the mysterious brain will let us more inside its mysteries if we pick the patterns, the whole components, instead of just one individual component. And maybe somewhere it will lead to a better understanding for a psychologist, for a neuroscientist, for a graduate student, to develop a better understanding of behavior, of diagnosis, of a brain-computer interface system. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very creative approach at the brain-computer interface. Science Slam.
Thank you.
Have you seen the movie Gravity? Have you seen it? I came across it a few days ago on Netflix. It's available on Netflix. I really recommend you to watch it. I really enjoyed it. Gravity. Evelien Laggeweg from Leiden University in the Netherlands will soon have the unique opportunity to experience zero gravity. So the movie Gravity is a very good preparation for this research project. And Evelyn has a few extras. Also, Reini will have a very important role in this presentation. You will be surprised. Evelien Laggeweg with The Sky is Not the Limit. Big applause.
Thank you. So a few years ago, a video of a paralyzed woman controlling a robotic arm with just her brains ended up on the internet. And she controlled this robotic arm just by thinking. This is called a brain-computer interface, like we just saw before. And it enabled her to drink and eat, and it made her less dependent of her caretakers. So it's been around for a while now, and we've known it for a while, and it's working on ground. But does it also work in space? Because why not use brain-computer interfaces to make space exploration safer? Because space is actually a very dangerous place to be in, and astronauts often really put their lives at risk. And especially when they, for example, need to go outside of the spacecraft, they need to repair something outside while they have decreased motor activity, because that's what happens during microgravity. Your motor system, your muscles don't work properly anymore. So we know that this works on ground. Does it also work in space? We first need to understand how does this exactly work. We have several techniques to do so, and one of them is imagined movement. If I can put on... I'm so happy that I'm doing this in front of all of you while being video recorded. That's great. Can you help me out here? So, beautiful. All right. This thing is not reading my mind. It can just detect brain activity. If I, for example, move my right hand, I get brain activity, and that's measured with this thing and displayed on the screen, and then I get brain signals. But what if I imagine moving my hand? What does that do to my brain activity? Oh, so I get the exact same brain signals. So that means that if I am thinking about movement, I can teach a computer what to do with it. If I think about moving my right hand, I can learn a computer to move something maybe to the right or to the left. Depends on what you teach him. Okay, so let's play a game. It's called Shoot the Alien. We are going to do this soon. We have a cannon and we have two aliens. Now, the first alien will enter from the right. And I need to think about right hand movement. So I'm thinking right hand movement, right hand movement, right hand movement. Quickly, 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 right hand movement. And shoot! And he dies. Okay. That's one. No. There's going to be another one. We need to move quick. All right. He's coming up from the right as well. Oh no, oh no, okay. Oh, move more to the right, more to the right. And shoot! Oh, and he's dead too. So, this game, Shoot the Alien, we're going to play that, but unfortunately not in an actual spacecraft. We were not allowed to enter it, but we can use parabolic flights. So what is a parabolic flight? A very fancy name for just an aircraft that flies up and down. So it flies upwards at an angle of 47 degrees, during which you feel very heavy because you're stuck to the ground. And then on its highest point, it falls with its nose downwards, and then you experience microgravity for about 20 seconds. So you're free floating all over the place. And then you go further down, and you feel very heavy again, and then it pulls itself horizontally. Now, it repeats this loop for about 30 times. So you go upsy-downy, and then you feel very heavy and weightless, and very heavy and weightless again. And of course, this is not the same as an actual spacecraft, but it's the first step towards figuring out what microgravity does to our brain signals and how we can control such a brain-computer interface in space to make space exploration safer for astronauts and for ourselves, because eventually we might go to the moon one day as well. Because, after all, the sky is not the limit, right?
Thank you very much. And big applause for our aliens. Come here once more. Yeah, you deserve the applause. Wow. So we had 5 really impressive presentations. We had poetic moments, we had entertaining moments, we had full action here when aliens were killed on stage. Now it's your turn to discuss about the presentations and to vote for the Slam champion. So we will, in a minute, we will form discussion groups and spread the voting cards. There are 3 main categories. Content. Is the topic scientifically demanding? Is it interesting for me. In the category understanding, has a complex topic been explained in an understandable way? Did I learn something from the presentation? And the third category is presentation. There you rate the rhetorical quality, entertainment value, and also could a connection to you, to the audience, be established during the presentation? So in these categories, minimum 1 point, maximum 3 points, plus an possible extra creative bonus point for visual aids, for demonstrations, for flight experiments, whatever. So each slammer can get a maximum of 10 points. And as a reminder, because your brain is overfilled with content, and I want you to see all the faces once more, hear the names and the titles once again. So I ask our slammers here on stage in the order of their appearance. Slammer number 1 was, come to me, Jelena Mladenovic with I Hear Voices. Slammer number 2, Melody Fouyen, ready to play. Number 3, Bartosz Binias, do pilots dream about flying while flying? Number 4, Kagendeb Kaur, the rainbow is not just yellow. And Evelyn Lageweg, the sky is not the limit. So these are our 5 slammers. You deserve now to have a coffee or a juice. Is there beer at the buffet outside? No. So try. I ask you now to leave the room so that they can discuss frankly, enjoy the buffet, and come back. Be sure to come back in maximum 9 minutes. Okay? So see you in 9 minutes.
So we already wanted to start it without you, so someone was so nice to say, hey, but we're the main actors. So I was just about to explain what the winner received. And basically, I was saying we have a lot of sponsors, so thanks to all the sponsors, in this case NIRX, a company which produces near-infrared spectroscopy technology, is sponsoring a really nice award. So you get cash, which is always helpful for students, 200 euro, and also they brought some trophy medals, so you will see whatever you get. I have here the winner, or the information about the winner. And since do we have time?
Cool.
Okay, so some more questions? No. So it was really tough, so thanks to the audience. The decision was really kind of, yeah.
You want to sing a song? You want to sing a song? Did you rehearse it?
We just did.
Okay, yeah. Please, sing a song for us. Okay, you want one microphone together?
Here, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I'm like a musical.
Okay. He's playing live.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2.
That's the intro, and now please sing.
Just sing. I'm thinking all the time.
Reach for the sky, to the rainbow, I'd fly. I just lay around, and I hear people's sound. Reach for the sky. What? Na 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 na. Everybody, you know us already. So she's reaching for the sky, flying through the rainbow. Somebody's hearing the voices, and somebody playing around. Thank you.
This is 5 minutes of work. Basically what I did after I gave them something to drink. Water, of course. I have here some certificates, so before we really going to announce who the winner is, I would like to give all of you a certificate that you participated. Then we are going to make a nice picture, and then I will announce the winner. So, I think you get what I'm going to do. I just hand out the
I think they deserve one last massive applause.
So, then let me start. Gangandeep, come here, I give you the certificate.
Oh, it's very official.
Yeah, of course, come here. Number one. So, we make some pictures if you just wait. Then we have Evelyn.
Some help.
Evelyn, whatever. Everyone who knows me, my memory of names. Then we have in order Jelena. That's for you. Melody. And last but not least, Bartosz.
So please show your certificates,
so
and then
we make a really nice picture for the newspapers.
Brilliantly.
Perfect again.
So now Reini has lost the document where the winner's name is written, but Paul, our audio guy, who also did.
I just want to make it more exciting. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure to announce the first ever winner of the BCI Science Slam. First time 2017, and the winner is. You got the concept? It's female. And the winner is Melody. There's the information in there. How do you get them out? But